This shocking attack leaves friends in disbelief and the surfing community in mourning. How did a day of fun turn into a nightmare? On a sunny day, October 24, 2024, Giulia Manfrini, a 36-year-old surfer from Italy, was having the time of her life in the beautiful waters of the Mena Islands in Indonesia. Known for her adventurous spirit, Giulia loved riding the waves and exploring new surf spots. She was not just a surfer, she was also an inspiring travel entrepreneur who shared her journeys with others. However, on that fateful day, everything changed in an instant. As Giulia paddled out into the warm, sparkling ocean, she felt completely at peace. The sun shone brightly, and the waves looked perfect for surfing. Giulia was excited to catch some great rides and enjoy the beauty of nature. But hidden beneath the surface was a danger she couldn't see. A swordfish, a powerful fish known for its long, sharp bill. Just as Giulia started to ride the waves, disaster struck. Eyewitnesses described the horrifying moment when the swordfish leaped out of the water and targeted Giulia. In a flash, the fish struck her, piercing her chest with its sharp bill. It all happened so quickly that many people watching felt like they were in a nightmare. How could something like this happen? This swordfish caused a deep wound, about 5 centimeters wide, on the left side of Giulia's upper body. As she struggled in the water, her friends quickly swam to her side, realizing that something was terribly wrong. They could see the fear in her eyes and knew they had to act fast. Time was running out. They provided immediate first aid, trying desperately to help her. Giulia's friends were filled with panic and urgency as they quickly transported her to a local health clinic, praying that she would be okay. They fought against time, hoping to get her the medical help she desperately needed. Despite their best efforts, Giulia could not be saved. She arrived at the clinic, but the doctors could do nothing to fix the damage caused by the swordfish. Her injuries were too severe, and she passed away shortly after reaching the hospital. The news hit everyone hard. An accomplished surfer, full of life, was lost to an unexpected encounter with one of the ocean's formidable creatures. News of Giulia's death spread quickly, shocking her community and the entire surfing world. Giulia was not just any surfer. She was a well-known influencer and surf coach. She inspired countless people with her passion for surfing and travel. Pictures of her catching waves and exploring beautiful surf spots flooded social media, showcasing her adventurous life. In her hometown of Veneria Real, Italy, the mayor expressed his condolences on social media, calling the news unbelievable. Friends and family were devastated, sharing their heartbreak and remembering Giulia's enthusiasm for life. They spoke of her joy and positivity, emphasizing the void her passing left in their lives. The local community in the Mena Islands also felt the impact of this tragedy. Surfers from around the world come to this paradise seeking perfect waves, but the ocean can be unpredictable. Giulia's encounter with the swordfish served as a stark reminder of the potential dangers that lie beneath the surface of the beautiful water. After Giulia's death, conversations about ocean safety became more important. The surfing community began to discuss how vital it is to understand marine life and the need to be careful while enjoying the ocean. Giulia's story touched many hearts. Friends, family, and fellow surfers emphasized the importance of being aware of one's surroundings while in the water. Giulia was not just a surfer. She was a passionate advocate for adventure and exploration. Her travel agency, AWAV, inspired many to embark on their own surfing journeys and discover the beauty of the ocean. Through social media, her friends shared memories and photos of Giulia catching waves, reminding everyone of her adventurous spirit. They remembered her as someone who embraced every moment and encouraged others to chase their dreams. It was December 29, 2018, and Jamie Cunningham was spending a nice day at the beach with his wife, Christine, and their 2 teenage sons, Alex and Matthew. It was a beautiful summer day in New Zealand. The sky was blue, the sun was shining brightly, and the water was more than inviting. Cunningham and his family weren't the only people at Arataki Beach that day. New Zealand's many beaches are usually packed with tourists once summer begins in December, and Aridity Beach was no exception to this unwritten rule. Aridity Beach is located only minutes away from Inag City Centre. Invisal is the southernmost and westernmost city in New Zealand, and overall, one of the world's southernmost cities. Aridity Beach is popular with tourists for a plethora of reasons. Those who don't want to sit back, relax, and bask in the sun have plenty of other alternatives. Common beach activities such as swimming, surfing, paddling, and shell collecting are available. But the beach also has another unique trait. It's one of the only beaches in New Zealand where vehicles are allowed to drive. That's why many visitors choose motorbiking and four-wheel driving as their favored leisure activities. As you can imagine, the place is a fan favorite among families and daredevils alike. Cunningham and his family weren't daredevils, at least not on that particular Saturday. But this didn't mean they were going to stay idle on the beach. They planned to have fun and enjoy the sun and the water, and what better way to do that than boogie boarding? Boogie boarding, also known as bodyboarding, is much easier to learn than surfing. That's why many people prefer it and see it as a suitable activity for children too. Every now and then, Cunningham would get out of the water and give the board to his wife, Christine, so she could also enjoy some quality time with their sons. Everything was perfect. The late December day was hot, and the waves were amazing. At one point during the day, Jamie Cunningham decided to get out of the water and swap over with Christine, his wife. In order to do this, he had to leave his sons in the water and proceed toward the beach. Cunningham picked up the board and made his way toward the shore. He could see Christine waiting for him. Each step brought him closer to the beach and out of the water, until one small wrong step that would cost Jamie Cunningham dearly. The man was standing in just 11 inches of water. Nothing to write home about, right? That's what he was probably thinking too, or he wasn't thinking about it at all, caught mid-walking as he was. But then, when Cunningham's right foot made contact with the ground, he felt a sharp pain. It was like something stabbed him. The pain was quick and blinding, nothing short of excruciating. It felt like the sensation you get when you step on a piece of Lego and your leg just gives way. At least, that's what Cunningham thought. Surprised and definitely confused, Cunningham staggered, making a few uncertain steps. And then it all came crashing down for the 48-year-old father of two. It was like the whole ground shifted beneath him. The man saw something out of the corner of his eye. It was very fast, and it looked like a whip rising to strike him. But there was no time for him to make sense of what he saw. The next thing he knew, the whip-like thing hit him in the ribs under his left arm. But soon enough, it felt like the pain migrated and moved through his body. Jamie Cunningham thought he was going to die. He allowed himself to think about dying for a second. This would be a funny way to go, he thought. No, not funny, unusual. Peculiar. The man gathered his strength and staggered toward the shore, clutching his left side. The shore was so close and yet so far. When he finally managed to get out of the water and onto the sand, Cunningham collapsed. The pain was excruciating, and it was spreading. It was spreading like venom would. Cunningham's wife, Christine, saw her husband collapse on the ground and rushed to see what was wrong. When the woman saw him clutching his ribs, she asked him what had happened. Slowly, between labored breaths, Cunningham moved his hand, revealing an open wound. Cunningham was in a dire state. He couldn't even speak properly. He had to stop after every word and gulp for air. But this didn't stop him from begging his wife and the crowd around them to make sure his children, Alex and Matthew, were safe. Fortunately, the two boys were unharmed. Luckily enough, Cunningham's horrible state caught the attention of two passers-by who turned out to be off-duty paramedics. Together, they helped dress the wound as well as they could and rang for an ambulance. And that's when everybody finally found out what had happened to Jamie Cunningham. He was attacked by a stingray. While stingrays are usually harmless and non-confrontational, they can attack if they're taken by surprise, meaning you're probably going to get stung if you unknowingly step on one. Meanwhile, Cunningham's foot became more and more purple and more swollen too. It took the ambulance some 40 minutes to get to the beach. He was finally rushed to Southland Hospital, but his ordeal didn't end there. Because the stingray venom was spreading through his body, Dr. Doze had to insert a tube into Cunningham and drain his fluids. The man had to be put on heavy medication with assisted breathing because his left lung collapsed. Through it all, Cunningham wasn't worried about the actual wound. He was more worried about the venom, which was causing his diaphragm to lock up. There is no antivenom for stingray toxins. In fact, not much is known about the venom itself. What we do know is that a stingray sting can cause an array of terrible symptoms. The airways and lungs, the throat, the heart, the skin, the stomach, and the nervous system can all be affected by stingray venom. Symptoms can vary from breathing difficulties to paralysis and heart collapse. Because stingrays rarely attack, Jamie Cunningham's case was studied and included in a medical academic paper written by surgical registrar Benjamin Black, research fellow Monica Lal, and consultant surgeon Conrad Rohr. Very few stingray attacks have been reported in Australasia over the years, and out of these, even fewer have been fatal. The medical article concerning Cunningham's injury also cited a 2018 study. According to this study, as climate change progresses, more and more stingrays will venture into New Zealand waters, and attacks will become more common. Jamie Cunningham tried to stay positive during his whole ordeal. He told reporters he had no idea there were stingrays at Aretti Beach. "People keep saying I was lucky, but if I was lucky, I wouldn't have stood on the freaking thing," he told reporters. The man was able to make a full recovery, and according to him, he got a good pub story out of it, and a good scar to prove it. In January 2022, another man, Stuart Sutherland, was stabbed in the leg by a stingray at Aretti Beach, 4 years after Cunningham's painful experience.